And we are back. Channel that gives you all the news, the information from the U.S. markets, U.S. headlines. We make it fun, we make it interesting, and we not only do that, but the companies that we talk about, we break them down for you here on TradingView. So why would you watch this? Well, you're going to get some news, some information about the U.S. markets, the headlines, so that way you can save time from looking it up yourself. But also, you're going to get some insights on TradingView about how to identify some of the chart patterns, how to identify how to use some of the indicators, and how to look at some of the earnings, profits, revenues, things like that. Not too in depth, but that's the basics, and we'll get you going, and that's that. Now, for example, just to introduce you some more, my name is James. I'm from the US, I'm from the Midwest, and in the Midwest, there wasn't a whole lot going on with the markets there. There was farming and there was sports, and I wasn't really good at either one of those. I had an affinity for the numbers, and the affinity for the numbers is what took me into engineering school. And in engineering, that's when I started learning about charts and graphs and analyzing everything. And basically, that's what a lot of the markets are: is charts and graphs and analyzing numbers, etc. Raz, greetings, welcome, hello, thanks for the like. I'm not the algorithm expert, but I've heard it's good for the channel, so thank you very much. Collier Garrett, welcome. Everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, we keep you not only informed, but we give you some information to help you on your journey with whatever you're doing. And if you have questions or comments, or you want us to analyze a ticker, feel free to drop the ticker in the comments as well. Thank you very much again, Raz. Super duper. And so with that, having said that, let's get going here. Let's get right into it. Some of the things that we're going to talk about on the stream today are bing. Okay. Also, U.S. gas hits $4 a gallon. It's the highest it's been since 2022. It's up more than 30% since late February. Diesel also surged more than 40% to about $5 a gallon. Yeah, I said 5. Holy moly. Also, looking at some of the tech, for example, if you want to look at the Magnificent 7, we've got Micron, which is not on the Magnificent 7, but it's one of the ones to look for. It just sank 10% on Monday, and it's also gone down 30%. Yes, 30% ever since March 18th with the earnings report. Other tech names like CoreWeave, Nebius dropped 8%, SanDisk and Western Digital sank 7 and 9%. We'll get into some of those. Also, Nebius is one of the ones that's unveiling a plan to build one of Europe's largest AI data centers in Finland. Okay, we'll talk about that. Also, some of the commodities that are also getting priced high right now because of what's going on. So outside of oil, there's also tungsten, sulfur, and helium. We'll talk about those and who's mining those and how that can also interest your portfolio. Also, some of the big moves recently were Fannie Mae and Boston Scientific. We'll take a look at those tickers as well. How does oil affect your traveling? Well, if you're you'd like to travel, JetBlue just raised its prices for their checked bags from $4 off peak to $9 during the peak time. That can make things more pricier. Also, another one, India is becoming more important as well. For example, right now, they got the mobile giant Airtel raising $1 billion for data centers, getting funds from Carlyle Group and other private equity firms. In December, also, Microsoft and Amazon pledged $50 billion for India's cloud and AI. Also, Google announced $15 billion for their data center there. So India is becoming more important to the tech companies as well. Also, we'll give you the update about oil. And for example, we'll talk about West Texas intermediate prices and Brent prices. And we'll also talk, we can't also not talk about some of the metals like gold and silver, how they've moved up a little bit, corrected a little bit, and what might be in sure to come. Also, another big one, Microsoft just invested $1 billion into Thailand. So also other parts of Asia becoming more and more important for tech as well. Let's get more deeply into it, okay? Welcome. That's some of the headlines for the stream. Again, why do you care? What's gonna go, how does this benefit you? Again, you'll get not only the news and highlights, but some of the interesting ones, but also you will get to learn a little bit about the chart patterns if you haven't already, some of the indicators that we use, and some of the behind the curtains. We'll talk about earnings, profits, revenue, things like that, and anything else that you have questions about. So, having said that, okay, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Gas pushing $4 a gallon. If you are a if you drive a lot, that can change your lifestyle. And also, for example, diesel hitting $5 a gallon. If you might be, let's see, if you're a farmer or any of in agriculture, that's going to be affecting your life as well. So let's take a look here. Bum, bum, bum. Let's take a look at some of the energy right here. Let's go to Exxon. That's one of the oil ones. Let's see how they're doing. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, bum, bum. Exxon. Hold on. XOM. What happened here? Let's see. Reload this. Give me 1 second here. Aha, here we go. Exxon. Here we go. Sorry about that little delay. Just had to change some of my settings. Raz, thank you again. Okay, looking at Exxon right now. For example, Exxon. Look at this. Hey, hold on 1 second. Let me adjust my RSI right here. Settings. If you're wondering where the settings are for your RSI, they're right here. I oftentimes take the yellow one off, just like that, and I take this one off, the background. I take that one off. Done. And I also there. Now, if we go over here, okay, let me introduce, for those of you who are just jumping on and new to the channel, let me introduce the RSI Relative Strength Index right here. Now, this line, if you're wondering what this line is, this is the overbought line right there behind me. You can see that. Right here, this is the oversold line. Bang, that's the oversold. That's the 70 line and the 30 line. Now, obviously, they are just guides because look right here. They can go way overbought for a long time before they ever market correct. So keep that in mind. It's just a guide. And again, that's the RSI. And also one thing I'll point out that when the RSI is around this area, that's your neutral area, okay? Very neutral right there. And that's why you see that also the chart there being pretty neutral. Sometimes they call it consolidation, continuation, etc. I'll talk more about that later. Just want to introduce that indicator. And then also, here is your MACD, just to introduce very briefly. The blue line goes up against the orange indicator line right there. That right again. That when it goes up against the indicator line, your price chart's going to move up right there. And then when it moves down right here, that's going to be the downward part, like right there. See how it moves down right there? That's because it goes down right there. Again, super simplified version of the MACD. Obviously, it's more complicated than that, but that's the basic idea of how it works. Yes. So here we go. Looking at Exxon right now, it's sitting here at 173.53. And right now, let me zoom in, adjust the times right here. If I can find a couple brief chart patterns here. We got a lot to go through. I won't spend too much time right here, but basically here we go. One of the chart patterns that keeps this thing pushing up is your double. This looks like a double bottom right here. Here is your double bottom right here. Here's one bottom. Here's another bottom, and then this is your neckline breakout right there. Boom, boom, boom. And from that neckline, this is where it breaks out and continues up. And then let me go over here to find some more chart patterns for you, just very briefly before we move on. Reese Bunny, hello. And if you change the settings to make them come out a little bit more, you'll be able to see them better. Sometimes they are quite hard to find, but let's see what we can do right here. Okay, now one thing you'll notice right here, if I adjust this, here we go. Yeah, for example, here's one of the, and I'll push this out right there. Again, here's one of your heads. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your right shoulder. And here's your neckline. And there's your breakout going down right there. and then right over here, dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. For example, they also work in reverse. So if I go like this, if you come over here, here's your reverse head right here, and then bring this down right here. So the Head and Shoulders goes both ways. One goes one way, the other goes the other way. For example, right here, here's your reverse, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, and there's your neckline, and here you go. Boom, there's your breakout right there. Okay, so there's a Head and Shoulders, reverse Head and Shoulders, and we can spend more time with that. If you have more questions about that, feel free to ask, let me know. But let's go on here to some more of the fundamentals side. We have more chart patterns to work with later on. Let me see if I can get you one last one right here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Let's keep moving right over here. Okay, now as you'll see, again, one thing I want to point out with these trade volumes, right here, here's your trade volume. As you can see, there's more price action, there's more volume. Right now, the volume for Exxon is at 1.99 million. Market cap is 722 billion. And right now, the earnings, let's see, let's go here. Earnings. Quarterly, you have Q4, Q3, and Q2, all beating expectations. You might be saying, why do I care about earnings? What does this mean? Well, basically, earnings is, for example, the company puts, Wall Street puts out like what they expect. For example, when the earnings beats the Wall Street expectations, that makes the company look stronger, more vital, more full of life. When the company misses the expectations, that makes them look weaker. So for example, that could affect the stock price, that could affect the investments, stuff like that. But this is just one of the things that could affect it. So bear that in mind. So that's quarterly, but oftentimes we look at annually, more so. 2025, again, actually for the year, 2025, it missed it. For 2024, it beat it. 2023, it also beat it. So watch how this correlates. Toy Sabuted, greetings, welcome. And 2025 was the one year that missed it. The other 2 years beat it. Let's look how that affects. Pickles. I love the name. Do you like pickles? Depends. It depends on how they're made. The humor is appreciated. It's not lost. Here we go. Annual. For example, even though 2023 and 2024 had good earnings, again, right here you see the revenue, the profit, the income. It was all negative for 2023 and 2024. And actually, 2025 was negative too. So bear that in mind. And again, we're talking about gas right now, the price, and so we're looking at Exxon. Let's go ahead and go on. We can talk about Chevron later. If anybody wants Chevron, just put it in the comments and I can look it up. Zah, hello, greetings and welcome. Another one that we'll talk about right now is Micron. Let me give you that one. Why are we going to talk about Micron? Look at the headline right behind me. Micron stock sinks 10%. On Monday, as the stock continues down 30% ever since the earnings report on March 18th. Other tech names, CoreWeave, Nebius, were down 8%. SanDisk, Western Digital sank 7% and 9% respectively as well. Micron is a major memory supplier for NVIDIA. The surge in demand has led to shortages, and right now customers only get 50 to 60% of their requirements. Micron shares are up 270% from 1 year ago, but most of that, those gains have retreated in 2026. The stock is only up 2% year to date after the recent slide. And again, this is not a script. I take copious amounts of notes every single day to give you the best highlights, the best news, and so we can have a better stream. So there's that. Let's take a look at Micron first off, right here. Dun dun dun. Micron Technologies. Okay, here we go. Let's look at you, Micron. Let's see, you've got it. Okay, and as you can see, Micron right here, bang, dropping more and more right there. That was on Monday, and it's also not looking good presently right now. And right here, I want to point out the RSI down here, almost at 30, almost oversold. got it. Here we go. Yeah, that's at 30, 31 right there. And right here again, you see the MACD dropping right there along with this price chart there. And right now there's a lot of trade volume, obviously, because there's a lot of price action right here as well. See how the trade volume follows the price action there? Yes. And let's see, right here, let me see if I can give you a nice chart pattern that's kind of indicative right here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so for example, right here, here is the beginning of your, this looks like it's, yeah, let me give it right over here. Sometimes these things have to be creative to actually work, but let me give you, you have to be able to spread these apart. Yeah, so here we go. Here's an example of one that actually corrects and keeps it going. Here's your reverse head. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your right shoulder. There's your neckline, and then bang, it keeps on going up. Again, there's one right there. And then here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Let me adjust this. And if we do this, you'll see more chart patterns emerge like that. Okay. Again, change the timing, zoom in, zoom out. You'll be able to see them better. Dun, dun, dun. And there we go. Let me try this right here. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. Zoom in, zoom out. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. And as I get you some more patterns here, you will see, aha, here we go. For example, here's a nice one that has a good breakout. Sonic the Hedgehog, got it. Greetings, welcome back. Let's see, under 4,500 today. Let's see, wait 1 second. 4,500. Let's see, Dow Jones, right, 45. Right now it's 45,809. 45,809. Sonic the Hedgehog, if you're asking, it's 45,819 right now. Yeah. Yeah. And then here again, here's another one for you if you're looking. Here's your head right here. Here's your left shoulder, your right shoulder. This is a nice one that has a good breakout. And then there's your neckline, and then breakout going down. Yeah. So having said that, let's move on. There are other ones I can show you later on, but that's enough for now. Let's looking at Micron, because Micron just dropped another 10% on Monday. And let's go right over here. Dun, dun, dun. Bring this down right there. Yeah. So look at the trade volume right now. There's lots of trade volume, as you can see right here. Trade volume is actually set right here at 13.84 million right now. Scientists, greetings, welcome. Cool name. Market cap is at 367 billion right now, and earnings right here. For example, quarterly. Again, we mainly look at annually, but we can look at quarterly too. Again, if you're just jumping in, the blue part is what was actually recorded. The gray part was what was actually predicted. And when you beat the expectations, it actually looks good for your company. It looks stronger. Looks like you're more full of life. That's why you care, and it can actually increase the value of the stock, etc. That's one of the pieces of the puzzle. Q2, Q1, Q4 all beat earnings expectations for Micron. But what about annually? Annually, right here, 2025, 2024, and 2023. Okay, 2025 and 2024 both had positive earnings that beat the expectations. 2023, however, beat the expectations because it was less negative. Okay, it was negative, but it was less negative. Now let's look here how that follows the profits and revenue. So 2024 and 2025 were positive with positive. Yes, okay, here. This is interesting because it does kind of correlate this time. It doesn't always do that, but this time it does, okay? Right here. Okay, so there we go. Right here, 2024 and 2025. Actually, interestingly enough, do follow with the revenue, profit, and income right there. Actually, in this case, the one that didn't have as good of revenue, it had the negative revenue. Let's see. Don't tell nobody. Greetings, and welcome. 2023 had negative revenue, profit, and income all the way down. Interestingly enough, so that's Micron. And again, Micron just dropped again on Monday, and it's down 30% ever since March 18th. Let's take another look right here. For example, Sonic the Hedgehog. Thank you very much for the likes. And dun, right here. If you have a tech stock that you want us to analyze, feel free to drop it in the comments. Let's take another look also at SanDisk, because SanDisk is also down as well, partly because of the new memory. For example, if you're not up to date with what's happening with Google brought out the new technology of TurboQuant technology, which can actually possibly compress. It's a compression technique that could reduce the amount of memory needed. So since SanDisk is a memory company, that could also reduce the demand for SanDisk. So let's take a look at them at the same time. Here is, let's go here, SanDisk. SanDisk right here. Right here, okay. SanDisk right here. Again, if you're not up to speed on SanDisk, they engage in the development, manufacture, and provision of storage devices and solutions based on NAND flash technology. Its products include solid-state devices, memory cards, etc. And let's see. Thank you for the share very much. I appreciate that. And right here, looking at SanDisk, you'll see right here they're sitting at about 46, super neutral. And you can see right here, yes, that's reflective right there. Now let me show you. Here's another one. If you want to see how the RSI kind of reflects in the price chart, here it's very neutral sitting there, and then you have right here the same place, basically some consolidation. So you see right there and right there, that's how the RSI correlates. Yes. Greetings, Abs, Abdul Majid, Guri, Aman Preet, hello, welcome, and Jamil, hello. Everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines. We're also going to get into some, we'll talk about the gold and the silver, the metals, the miners. We're going to talk as well about some of the new commodities such as tungsten, sulfur, that are heating up in the market and why they're useful. We'll also get into, for example, Nevia and their new data centers. All that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. And then let's go right here. Let me adjust some of these so you can see this better. Bring this out right here. And there's that. Okay. Again, this is SanDisk. And let me adjust this. You can see this. Yeah. Here, this looks like right here, for example, you'll see this. Here is your triple bottom right here. That's basically, they come down 1, 2, 3, and then finally it goes up. The sellers lose momentum and then the buyers take over right there. Jocelyn, Shaw, greetings and welcome. We're looking at SanDisk right now because SanDisk is also one of the ones that just dropped on Monday. If you're paying attention to the Magnificent Seven, just a little update on them. Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, they all combined lost $850 billion over the past week. So if you think you're having a bad day, just think about them. So keep that in mind. Also, let me see if I can get you some more here. Let's adjust this. And let's see what patterns emerge. Here we go. Yes, isn't this more interesting? Look at these patterns just jumping out, waiting to be found. Okay, here for example, let's see if I can let's look at this. And yeah, sometimes it's not easy to find these. Sometimes they stay hidden a little bit. And yeah, oh wait, here we go. And push this in. Yes, for example, right here, you can kind of see right here. Here's your double bottom right there. There's a double bottom, and then bang, it goes up right there. And let's see. Okay, there's that. I'll get you some more chart patterns next time. Let's go over here to the fundamentals. And right here. Okay, looking right here, you see the fundamentals, the trade volume right there is definitely higher. Yeah, it's definitely higher here because there's actually more price action right here, as you can see. Now, right here, volume is at 3.14 million, market cap is at 90 billion, and then right here, looking at quarterly revenues, this is the fundamental side. Brian Craig, greetings and welcome. Richaz James, welcome. Delatorre, hello. Johnson, and okay, so quarterly right now for SanDisk Q2, Q1, actually right here, Q2, Q1, both quarters beat the expectations on that. And Kutsamofo, hello. Q4 also beat it. So the last 3 quarters beat expectations. Annually right here, 2025 also for the year beat earnings expectations. Let's see how that for SanDisk, let's see how that goes up on 2025's. Yeah, 2025 actually had negative net income, but 2024, the revenue, the profit, the income, that looks much better. So there's that. And also, let's go on here to the next headline. Yes. So yeah, tech stocks suffered the worst week last week. Also, let's take a look at Nebius, because Nebius is unveiling the plans to build one of Europe's largest AI factories as Europe scrambles for more compute power, for example. Yeah, and it's going to be in Finland. They have a new data center coming up in Finland. The new facility will be one of Europe's largest when completed, the company said. And yeah, for example, right here, the new facility will be based in Finnish Lappeenranta with a capacity of 310 megawatts, and it's going to begin initially supplying energy 2027. Yeah, right there. And also keep in mind there's other ones jumping up. There's one in Paris, and there's also one in Sweden as well that are coming up. Yeah, let's take a look at Nebius next. Right here, Nebius. Boom, boom, boom. Right here. Okay, here we are looking at Nebius right here. RSI sitting here at about 44. Yes, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing these orange glasses, it's because they're blue light blockers. So sometimes when I look at those computers or the phones too much, the blue light makes my eyes hurt, gives me a headache. So if you wear these, these block the blue light, and so it makes your eyes relax more, makes sure it doesn't give you a headache. Yeah, they're very useful. So there's the RSI sitting right there at 45, very neutral. Remember, between 45 and 55 is a pretty neutral value. And you'll see Nebius right here, sitting at 98.64 right now. And let's see if I can jump in here and give you some chart patterns real quick. Right here, okay. Yeah, here's a nice one that forms. For example, sometimes these shoulders are not very square. For example, here's your reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder right there, and then there's your neckline, and you can see, bang, it jumps up and just, yeah, breaks the neckline, goes up right there. Dom, hello. Everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we're breaking them down on TradingView here. If you're wondering what this software is, it is TradingView. And right now we're looking at Nebius Group right here. Okay. And sometimes these chart patterns are a little bit difficult to see sometimes. And they're yeah. And yeah. And then you got to zoom in, zoom out to get them to pop out. And let me show you some others right here. For example, not always easy. You have to have patience, and you got to make this stuff fun somehow. But right here, bring this out. Yes. For example, right here, you see the reverse head. Here's the left shoulder, the right shoulder neckline, and this one does break out. There we go. Okay, that's nebulous. Let's go more over here into some of the fundamentals. If you have more questions about the chart patterns, just let me know, ask, and done. We can go from there right now. Okay. Yeah, let's look right here. As you can see how there is right here again, more trade volume right there, matches with price action there. And volume right now is at 5 million for Nebius, and market cap is at 24.7 billion. Right here, we have the earnings quarterly. Okay, this is interesting because watch this. Even though the earnings are negative, they're not as negative as what they were expected to be. So that actually beat the earnings report right there. And so Q4, Q3, Q2, and then right here, 2025. As you can see, it, oh wait, no, 2025 for the year was more negative than expected, so 2025 was a bad earnings year. 2024, definitely bad earnings. 2023 was the only year for negative that had positive earnings and beat the earnings expectations. So let's look here at Nebius, how that breaks down here. 2023, it's red all the way down. 2023, revenue, profit, income, all negative. And then right again, also 2024 and 2025 actually were all pretty bad too. Only thing good was the total revenue for 2024 and total revenue for 2025. Yeah, otherwise, but yeah, Nebius is unveiling plans to build one of Europe's biggest AI factories. Yeah, so that's that. And that's, boom, that's Nebius right there. Let's also go here. For example, I wanted to show you this. Oh yeah, here it is. 3 niche commodity prices are surging, and what they show us about supply chains and, for example, tungsten, sulfur, and helium. I'm going to explain a little bit more about this. So tungsten, sulfur, and helium have climbed sharply in recent weeks. Tungsten creates the electrical connection in the core of semiconductor chips. So that's how it's related right now, and that's why it's important. Also, sulfuric acid cleans chip wafers. That's how that's important. Helium enables smooth production of semiconductors since the gas prevents unwanted chemical reactions in the manufacturing process. Yes. So again, that's also why some of the miners right now may be important in your portfolio, possibly. So let's take a look at some of them. Welcome. For those of you jumping in, this is the channel where you get everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines. We make it fun, interesting, so you don't have to spend all your life searching through the headlines. We do it for you, and then we also break it down on TradingView, looking at some of the chart patterns and the indicators as well. So let's take a look at them. One of the ones I was going to show you here is Almonte. Almonte ALM is done right here. Almonte ALM right here. Almonte. This is a mining. One. Engages in mining, processing, and shipment of tungsten concentrates. Yes, for example, here we go. Again, tungsten. Why is tungsten important? Because it creates the electrical connection in the core of the semiconductor chips. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why it's important. So if you look right here, RSI sitting right here at about 40. Again, not too neutral. Actually, it's going to, and as you'll notice, a lot of the miners, again, they're market correcting right now. As you can see, this one is too. It spiked March 11th. It peaked out. Let's go right here and see how. Oh, sorry about that. How you can spread this out. You'll be able to see different patterns emerge. And for example, right here, it's interesting because you're going to see, here's looking right here, here's your head, and then if you go over here, here's your left shoulder. This has the beginnings of a head and shoulders, but I'm curious, is there going to be a shoulder right here? That's what to look for. That would be a nice head and shoulders pattern, but it's too early to tell. But will there be a one there? I'm not sure. Let's keep looking over here at the different patterns. Okay. break these out, zoom in, zoom out. And sometimes these break out, sometimes they don't. Let's keep, again, you have to be a little bit creative with this stuff to find where the breakout points are. Right here, and right here, you can kind of see this one. Here's your, yeah, right here, for example, here's your reverse head and shoulders right here, reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder. There's your diagonal neckline. You can see this one kind of bang. This one goes up right there. Yes, reverse head and shoulders. Again, they don't always just guri hello welcome. You have to have sometimes a little bit of creativity to see them. They're not always easy. Yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, that's Almonte. Because they're into tungsten, I just wanted to show you that. Now let's go over here to the fundamentals side right here. Right here. Okay, and one thing right here, as you can see, there's less price action at this moment, more price action right there. So there's more trade volume. See the trade volume right there, you see the price action right there, the correlation. Cutter hand 22, welcome. And right now we're breaking it down on TradingView. Educational channel, if you have a question about a headline or a ticker, just drop it in the comments and say hello. Right now we're looking at volume 1.56 million, market cap is at 3.66 billion, earnings right here. Let's go quarterly. Let's see, Q4 missed it by a bunch, very negative. Q3 beat it, Q2 missed it. So annually we have 2025. Again, here's your annual earnings. 2025 really missed the expectations. Bad earnings report 2024. Actually, again, more negative than it was supposed to be. 2023 actually equaled it. So 2023, Jim Sam, hello, welcome. And user 9280, welcome. Everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we're looking at one of the mining stocks right now. How does this correlate? 2023. Yeah, actually, it's interesting because it doesn't correlate very well. 2023 equaled the earnings expectations, but still had negative revenue and negative profit. The income was good, but profit and revenue were not. 2024 again missed the earnings expectations by a long shot, but still had positive revenue and positive gross profit, as you can see. And then yeah. So again, take a look at all the information that's available. I saw your video about it. Cool. Thanks, Jim Sam. Yeah, interestingly enough, what is it? Right now, gas is at $4 a gallon, the highest it's been since 2022. Diesel's at $5 a gallon. That's up 40%, something like that. So, yes. Any thoughts on gas, or what do you talk about electric bills? Yeah, sure, no problem. It will do. For example, would you also, my next question would be, would you like me to look up a stock here on TradingView of a company that does do electric vehicles? Would you like that? Is that something that you would appreciate? If there is, let me know the company's ticker and I'll look it up here on TradingView for you if you want. Yeah. Or for example, if you want me to do a video about electric vehicles, that's also possible too. And just let me know which one you want, the video, you want the ticker. And okay, so there's that. There's Almonte. Another one I'll take a look at here, since we're talking about mining and let's see. Let's take a look at Freeport McMoran. Here's Freeport McMoran. It's another big miner, and they also, for example, do some work with the commodities as well. The commodities right now that we're talking about are tungsten, sulfur, and helium, because they're widely needed in the chips. One helps the chips connections, another one helps clean the wafers. Helium enables a smooth production because it prevents unwanted chemical reactions. And so here's Freeport McMoran right here. Let's take a look. Right here. Okay, taking a look at Freeport McMoran. Right now, RSI is sitting here at 48. It actually just market corrected. It was down almost oversold, as you can see right here. There's the correction, and now it has market corrected. Let me show you this interesting. Bring this together right there. Now, right over here, if we look at this, here's your head right here, and then move this over here. There's your head, and here's your left shoulder, and over here is your this is looking like your right shoulder over here. So again, if this is the head and the shoulders, then there could be, for example, possibly a market correction coming this way. We'll have to see to find out what this chart ends up being, but this looks like it has a potential to be the head and the shoulders, so keep that in mind as well. Max, greetings, hello, and dun, right over here. And let's take a look over here as well. Okay, looking right here, one thing I want to show you right here is your double bottom right here. And your double bottom, again, when it comes down, the sellers lose momentum, it comes down, and the buyers take over and it goes up. Yes, there we go, bang, right there. Okay, and then another one I'll show you right here is where's my again, sometimes you have to have the creative eye to see these things where they pop out. Yeah, here we go. They don't always break out, but sometimes they do. Let me give you a better one. Oh, here's one. Here's a nice one, easy one. For example, this one shapes up pretty well. Here's one bottom, here's your second bottom. See, they come down, it bottoms out, tries to go up, and then bottoms out again, and then bang, it goes up. So that's your double bottom right there. Liz, hello, greetings, welcome. And then right here, this is a double bottom, also has a neckline. This is your neckline, and then it breaks out right here, basically, bang. Oh, here's a good, very nice head and shoulders that forms. Farida, hello, greetings. Henry, welcome. This is everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we're breaking them down here on TradingView. It's an educational channel, so we can all relax and breathe. Basically, we're looking at the headlines, so you don't have to, and then we're showing some of the chart patterns, indicators, if you want to take a look at how it works on TradingView. Very educational, not a sales channel, so yeah, here we go. Here's a nice, look at this, here's a nice head, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder. Boom, this is a nice square one right here. A nice left shoulder, and then here's your neckline. That's what sends this right here down. Look at that. Very nice, well-formed head and shoulders again. And then interestingly enough, what pops it back up the other way, see that one pulls it down, and then here's your double bottom. That one pushes it right back up. Yes, so there's that. Cool stuff, right? Enjoying these, you gotta have fun with the chart patterns, right? There's that. Let me see if I can get you another one. Oh yes, here we go. Aren't these, yeah, I'm having fun here. Okay, here again, this is your double, if you see right here, here's one bottom, here's another bottom right here, and then here's your neckline. So there's your double bottom. Let's see, wait a minute now. Wait, no, that looks more like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I had that wrong. Scratch that. Okay, for example, this looks like, here's your head right here, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder. This head and shoulders sends it down, and then, sorry, I think I made a mistake on that. Here, if you zoom out of that, this looks more like the reverse. Here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder. This is the reverse head and shoulders. That's more like it right there, because see, a lot of times the head and shoulders will reverse themselves. For example, here's your head and shoulders up here, and then you got the reverse to send it the other way. That looks more like it. And again, this is not some kind of a commercial or heads, toes, knees, and no. I don't make the name. I don't create the names for the patterns. That's just what they are. But again, oftentimes, see, there's that one, sending it down, and then there's this one, pushing it back up. Yeah, fun, right? So there's that, and I hope you all can see the patterns. I hope my head is not too big, not blocking the. There you go, and here we go. Push this out right here. Okay. Again, if you're looking for another one right here, here's this left shoulder, here's the right shoulder, and then yeah, there's your neckline right there, and yeah, good stuff. So if you have questions or want to see more patterns, just ask me. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this. Dun dun dun. And if you're having fun enjoying the patterns, feel free to put a smiley face right there. Put a smiley face right there in the comments and say, we love chart patterns. Right there. What about quantum optimization? The whole ground state thing. LG finding the fastest upswing for a truck in London. Examples can be applied here. Let's see, you need a quantum here to make every trade. Got it. Okay, yeah, good insights. Thank you, Aksa. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Freeport McMoran. Again, we're looking at some of the mining stocks because, as I said, tungsten, sulfur, and helium. Right now they're soaring, partly because of the supply chain. Let's go right over here. Dun, dun, dun. Volume right now is sitting here at 2.11 million. Market cap is at 82.48 billion right there, and earnings right now quarterly Q4, Q3, and Q2 beat expectations. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, I know what you mean. Like you said, that's something I have to answer outside the stream because right now during the stream I can only keep it informational. But for example, if you want to, you can send me a message. And how would it go on trading? Yeah. Send me a message with that and I'll get back to you, okay? For example, right now this is just breaking down the headlines, everything US markets, everything US headlines, and then we're breaking down some of the main companies in the headlines on TradingView. So yeah, that's what this stream is about. Sorry, I didn't mean to, if I didn't explain that earlier. Everything US markets, US headlines, and we're basically a lot of the things that are in the headlines, such as the tickers. If you have a ticker that you want me to analyze and look up, I can do that. But right now it's basically, what do I tell my parents? They're worried. Let's see. Anyway, just keep watching for education purposes. And if you do have a question, you can always send me a message. The chosen. Anyway, okay, here we go. So for earnings right now, annually, 2025, 2024, 2023, all beat the expectations annually. I've noticed that the share prices of data storage companies have full division. Oh, Jim Som, excellent question. I know what you're talking about. Good vibes. Okay, Jim Som, for example, if you look, what was it on, what was this, Thursday, the 26th, Google's, they had a headline about Google, about their TurboQuant technology, Jim Som. And TurboQuant technology, for example, is a new compression technique that could reduce the amount of memory needed for AI workloads. That could be part of the reason. That's already affecting Micron, SanDisk, because they're basically memory companies. And TurboQuant technology can limit the amount of memory required to run large language models by at least a factor of 6. Let's see. Reducing overall cost of training AI. So Jim Som, that's a little information for you. Sir Jolly, love the name. Based on the, for example, that's a question that meaning like, for example, yes, it can, but in which sector and how? For example, again, I just showed, what was this, Freeport McMoran, for example, looking right here, the miners often follow the metals, and for example, the metals are closely related to the what's happening with the escalation or de-escalation of the oil. Yes. For example, look right here. This is Freeport McMoran. You see how it's already market correcting right there. I mean, again, it's so closely related right there. So, for example, yes, it can, depending on the sector, especially Sir Jolly, when you're looking at, you know, the petrodollar. Right now, the dollar is stronger, right? So, and if the metals are priced in dollars, then it has an inverse reaction, and so, for example, and the metals follow with the miners oftentimes, and that's why when there's an escalation or de-escalation, the value of the dollar goes up or down, and that has an inverse right here. If that makes, if that's helpful, but yeah, it just depends on which thing you're talking about. Yes, oil affects different things for sure, and again, oil affects many things indirectly. Like you have distribution, you have supply chain. And also, for example, this is one I'm glad you asked, because this is another one I was going to talk about. For example, JetBlue. Here's another one, Sir Jolly, that's affected because just now JetBlue had to raise its fees for checked bags because of the soaring fuel prices. So if oil goes down, then they can also reduce. But right now oil is up, so they got to find a way to make more money, right? And so that's one of the headlines right there. So again, and it's even in this article, it said JetBlue does this, then other competitors will follow suit. So how does that affect, you know, again, the airlines, anything with travel? Oil affects so many different things, directly and indirectly, etc. For, you know, many places are actually having an oil energy crisis because they can't get enough oil. So that's going to affect, you know, distribution of goods. That's going to affect deliveries of things. For example, if you are a delivery person and you can't get the gas you need for your car or things like that, that will send the price of deliveries up, right? So look at JetBlue. If they're going up, that probably means, I saw an article earlier, what was it, yesterday or the day before, UPS, I think, is increasing their rates, or yeah, so hold on, let me see if I can find it. CNBC, I think where was it? I think, which sector was that? Business, energy, where, if I can find it. I thought I saw that. Anyway, maybe I can't find it right now. But I thought it was one of the deliveries, such as UPS or USPS, something like that. They were also going to have to raise the rates. So anyway, Sir Jolly, hope that helps. You just have to send, okay, meaning Google could send an update to every nor from this recent news. I'm talking about something. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think the stock market should be nationalized and distribute stocks to every American interest fund. Got it. Okay, thank you for your insights. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Sir Jolly, this is the JetBlue that I was mentioning to you about right there, and we could take a look at, if you want me to, Sir Jolly, if you want me to analyze one of your companies, let me know. For example, if it's JetBlue or some other company that's directly or indirectly affected by oil, I can do that. But yeah, I definitely think it will affect certain sectors very much so. Also here, again, just like I said, with the metals and the miners right there. And actually, last time I checked, if you're a gold or silver bug like I am, Roberto, hello, John Allman, greetings. For example, just with this little oil correction, again, with the value of the dollar, gold and silver both corrected as well. I think gold was, last time I checked, gold corrected up 0.6%. And I believe, one second here, the information they had, silver also corrected 3.86%. So again, with the metals, you have the miners, with the oil, you have transportation, etc. Yeah, it's affecting a lot. Some places more, or some things more, some places yes. Yeah, gas was over $6. In San Diego, wow. Yeah, I know. I said, well, isn't a correction also corrections go down? Let's see. Do they? For example, a correction can't go up. I think a correction can go both ways, right? Anyway, thank you for the updates. No problem, Exa. I appreciate it. Over $6. Dang. Okay, here we go. So this is Freeport McMoran. Like I said, Caesar, Colin, greetings and welcome, welcome. All right, now where was I? Done. We were looking at, let's see, here we go. Okay, yeah, right here. Oh yeah, again, yeah, here is Freeport McMoran, and let's take a look right here at the, I think we're looking at the earnings right here. Yeah, annually right here, statements wise, right here, annually. Yeah, so for example, looking at Freeport McMoran, Miami Beach, love that name. Greetings and welcome. Again, this is Freeport McMoran, the mining stock right here, 2025. Even though on 2025 they beat their earnings, 2024 they also beat their earnings. If you look at them for 2025, had terrible revenue and profit and income. Net income was actually good, but also in 2023, revenue, profit, income was negative. It was terrible, but 2024 was a good year for them. Yeah. Now let's go over here to some of the other ones. For example, I wanted to share this article here about how, where is it? Yeah, right here. For example, India Mobile Giant, looking right here, India Mobile Giant raises $1 billion for data centers from the Carlyle and other private equity firms right there. And it also talked about right here how, where is it right here? Yeah. In December, Microsoft and Amazon pledged $50 billion to India's cloud and AI. And in October, Google also announced $15 billion for data center hub. And also India announced that they were going to have a 20-year tax exemption for hyperscalers. So again, India is becoming more and more important for some of these tech companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. And so I just wanted to show you that. We can take a look here at Carlyle as well. CG. Here is CG. Right here. The Carlyle Group right here. Lady Cool, excellent name. Chase Rose, greetings, welcome. But I'm the. Got it. Okay. I made money. Got it. He told everyone on public Discord. Got it. Cool. Thanks for the insights. It's like trading. I'll say. Okay. Here we go. Here's the Carlyle Group showing you right now a little bit about this. If I go right over here. You'll see right here, Carlyle is sitting, yeah, 38 right there on the RSI, and XX, greetings, and you'll see right here, let me zoom this out a little bit, yeah, here we go. Again, zoom this out and you'll be able to see this chart pattern pop out. For example, here's your head right here, then right over here you have your shoulder, and right shoulder, and then there's your neckline right there, and you'll see that pushes the chart down. Yes, sometimes they don't break the neckline, sometimes they do. This one, yeah. So here's the Carlyle Group, and let me show you also, coming right over here. So there's your head and shoulders pushing it down, and then what do you see right here? Here's your double top, right there, double top with your right there. There's your neckline where they meet in the middle. So it comes down, the sellers lose momentum, they try to bring it up and they can't, it comes back down again, and then bang, the buyers take over. And that part right there, that's your neckline. So here's where the you have basically the breakout part right there, and it breaks out and goes up. Yes. Sam, hello, greetings. See, I remember Carla. That's good. I like the subtle humor. Yeah. Glad you remember the Carlyle Group. Okay. Just enjoy the show, man. Enjoy. Done. Here we go. And then right over here. Oh, again, again, this one's got more head and shoulders as well. Here's your head, here's your left shoulder, your right shoulder right here, and there's your neckline right there. And then Carlyle Group, yes, has been famous in the past too. Let's see again. So we have more head and shoulders, as you can see, but that's enough for now. Let's move on. Let's go to the fundamentals on the Carlyle Group. Again, right now you can see how the chart is starting to consolidate right here. So right now the trading volume is down right there. Not much price action. Trading volume is down. And let's see, Rose, Fully Fix and Chill, Chase, hello, greetings and welcome. Dun, dun, dun. Now let's go right over here. To the fundamentals. Okay. Right now, volume is at 357,000. Market cap is at 16.9 billion. And right here, more information. Here's your earnings. Okay, quarterly, Q4, Q3, Q2, dun dun dun, and then Q4 beat it, Q3 missed it, Q2 also beat it, but annually 2025 beat it, 2024 missed it, 2023 beat it. So okay, let's look at 2023 and 2025 and how they correlate. Right here, annually 2023, 2025, actually interesting. Terrible revenue, even though it beat the earnings, and terrible net income. Funny how that stuff works out. Also, let's take a look here at was it let's see, Microsoft. It's also one of the Mag 7s that had a terrible week. Let's do that one. Microsoft. Is that this? Let's give away. Okay, let's see. Because I have a few bucks. Good. No, that that's my WhatsApp. I put it there. If anybody has any specific questions, they can just contact me directly if they want. It's just an option, but yeah, that's what that is. So here's Microsoft. Boom. Let's hit this, and here we go. Right there. Let's see. Rose. Fix. Mark Prince, hello, welcome to the channel. We're breaking down Microsoft right now on TradingView, and let's see, here we go. Yeah, because Microsoft is also investing into India big time, and Microsoft is one of the Mag 7s that had a terrible week. So let's see how this worked. Let me see if I can, yeah, look right here. Terrible week they had. They are sitting right down here at 22 as an RSI. They corrected a little bit, but they're still oversold. Look at this. They've been pretty much running oversold down here for quite some time. And look at their chart pattern. Not the most, yeah, not the greatest chart pattern either. Okay, you should have live call. You can just have a second number call and show you'll be the next meeting. Good vibes, actually. Good vibes. Thank you. And then here we go. Okay. Looking at the chart pattern, let's look at this. Let's see. Again, I see some head and shoulders popping out. Let's look right here. Here's your Microsoft. Here's your head. Here's your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and here's kind of your diagonal neckline right there. That pushes it down. Let's see. Let's get some other ones going on here. What can we find? Zoom in, zoom out. Let's have fun with this. Chosen walking, hello. And then let's move this in and out. Basically this, zoom in, zoom out right here. What do we have here? Okay, this basically looks like, yeah. So here, basically this touches down at the same point, and then here's your neckline right there. And then bang, this jumps up right there, and yeah. So there's your double bottom. Bang, it bounces back up. Brian, hello. Ajawabat, greetings and welcome. And then if we go right over here, let's see. Okay, looking over here, I can find, look, oh, here's a nice one. This one jumps out. Here we go. Here's they don't always, again, these head and shoulders don't always break out, but here, just so you can see them, here's your head right here, and here's your left shoulder and your right shoulder right there. Bang. But again, as you can see, there's not much of a breakout there. Jared, greetings, welcome. And then let's see, and right here, again, an example of a double top. They come up, hit it, try again, and then bang, the buyers lose momentum and the sellers take over right there. If you're wondering what you just walked into, this is educational channel. We talk about everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines. We try to make it fun and interesting, and we give you the headlines so you don't have to look them up yourself. And we show you some of the ways to break down the tickers on TradingView as well. So we're on TradingView right now, looking at Microsoft and some of the chart patterns and fundamentals. This looks like a double bottom right here. Here's your neckline, and that sends it up right there. Bang, right there. And so here we go. Oh, that's enough. It's enough with Microsoft. Watching paint dry. I appreciate the subtle or not so subtle humor on that. All right, let's go over here. Bring this down, and then right over here. Okay. Looking at the trade volume right now, there is not as much trade volume as you see. So right now the volume is at 7.17 million, and market cap is at 2.71 trillion. Earnings right now, quarterly, Q2, Q1, and Q4 beat the expectations on Microsoft. Annually though, what we got? 2025 beat it, 2024 missed it, 2023 beat it. So 2023 and 2025 beat it. However, 2024 missed the expectations. But interestingly enough, the last 3 years, all the revenue, profit, and income was good all the way down. Only one that didn't work was 2023 with net income being negative. That's interesting, but that's Microsoft. Another reason why we're looking at Microsoft is because of this one right here. For those of you interested in Microsoft, they are investing $1 billion into another Asian country, Thailand. And yeah, so $1 billion investment in Thailand in next 2 years in cloud services and AI infrastructure. So there's that right there. That's another reason to look into them. Henry Hurley, hello, welcome. Brian, TT Ra. All right, now let's go over here. For example, that's oil, that's silver. Another one that we're going to look at right now is another one of the miners. Let's go over here. For example, here is, let's take a look here at Hecla. Hecla is another big miner. And if you're curious about Hecla, engages in the provision of precious and base metals. Yes, so here's precious and base metals, Hecla mining. And as you can see, again, I was just asked about how oil prices affect different sectors and stuff. Again, for the person, I forget who it was that just asked me about oil and how the price of oil will affect different things. You can see right here, Hecla is also market correcting right here, basically partly because of the influence of oil, and now the influence of oil affects the metals as well. And you can see that as the RSI stabilizes right there. And let's go over here, a couple quick things just to show you right here. Yeah, so here's your head, and here is your, if you bring this up like this, here's your left shoulder and your right shoulder, and there's that. And then bring this down right here, bring this in right here, boom. And also, yeah, there's that. If you adjust the timing, you'll see different ones come in and come out. Okay, there's that. And okay, and let's see right here. Let me see if I can give you another one right quick. Oh, hold on. Let me adjust this. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, here we go. For example, here's another one. Here's your head right here, and here's your left shoulder, and here's your right shoulder, and that's your head and shoulders right there. Okay. Again, you gotta have fun with the creative eye on this one, but that's that. And let's go heckler mining into some of the fundamentals now. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Now, right now, let me zoom out. You'll see that when there's less price action again, you have more trade volume right here, and volume right now is at 5.34 million. Market cap is at 12 billion, and right here, earnings wise, Randy Gardner, hello, Team Muffin, that's a cool name. Okay, the earnings for heckler mining for quarterly, Q4, Q3, Q2 beat it. Annually, 2025, 2024, and 2023. So 2023 equaled it. 2024 beat it, and 2025 also beat it. Let's see how that correlates over here. 2023, yeah, 2024 and 2025 were much better. Stephen Snape, hello. As you can see, 2024 and 2025 revenue, profit, and income good all the way down. 2023 negative profit and negative net income. There's that. So that's heckler. All right, now let's go to another one. For example, we talked about Nebius, we talked about Micron. Also, for example, we talked about Microsoft. Another one that's in the news right now is CoreWeave, because CoreWeave also dropped down another 8% as well. So let's take a look at CoreWeave, and right here, because CoreWeave is one of the tech ones that just dropped as well. SanDisk dropped partially because of Google and their memory technology right now, and then same thing with Micron. That's partly because of that. But CoreWeave dropped as well. Let's see, CoreWeave, done. Here we go. CoreWeave right here. Yeah. And for those of you who aren't up on CoreWeave, CoreWeave engages in the powers of the creation and delivery of the intelligence that drives innovation. It offers a solution used by organizations of all sizes that require sophisticated AI computing, etc. So there we go. Let's take a look right here. Right here. So here's CoreWeave RSI sitting here, at 39. Again, just outside of neutral. Let's go right here. Adjust this a little bit. Let me show you a couple of patterns before we go to the fundamentals right here. Here's one that jumps out right here. Done. Let me hit this right here. Yeah. So for example, right here, you see, here's your head, and then here's your left shoulder, your right shoulder. There's that. And then, interestingly enough, right here, you see how they both come down right here to the same line, right there. They come down and they come down. There's your neckline for the double bottom, and it goes up. Carol Baskin, greetings and hello, right here. Bang, it jumps up right there. Yes, and then also if we come over here, not so much there, but here, if you use your imagination right here, here we go. Here's your head, here's your left shoulder, right shoulder. There's also your neckline right there. Brada, greetings and welcome. Dun. Again, this is everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines, and we're also breaking them down here on TradingView, looking at CoreWeave at the moment. If you have a ticker or something that you want looked at, just drop it in the comments. Louis De Souza, hello. Volume rise, 11.15 million. Market cap is at 38.3 billion. And then right here, done. Here's your earnings side, the fundamental side. Quarterly, Q4, not looking good for Q4. Very negative, much more negative than expected. Ryan, greetings and hello. Q3, again, it was less negative than expected, so it's actually a positive earnings. Q2, again, more negative. Let's look at the annual side. Annually, 2025 was much more negative than expected, so that's a bad earnings report. 2025, here we go. Annually, 2025 had good revenue and profit, but the income was negative. It was terrible. 2024, revenue, profit, very good, but the net income again was negative. Yeah, so that's CoreWeave. Now again, here's another article I was going to show you. Where is this? Right here. Here's and then yeah, for example, if you think you're having a bad day, here's the one about the Magnificent Seven. Last week they just dropped off 850 billion in stock value. That was the Magnificent Seven, which include Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. So that's interesting. So 1 week, 850 billion gone right there. Now also, for example, another headline, if you're into gold or silver or the metals, right now, actually, gold's heading for the biggest, right there, the biggest monthly drop in more than 17 years, okay? Now, let me see. Yeah. Investors are flocking to the dollar, but it's on track for the biggest monthly drop in 17 years. Gold declined 13% this month. Yeah, let me give you that right there. Yeah, on track for its steepest decline. Prices are up about 5% for the quarter, etc. Yeah. Anyway, if you're a gold bug, there's that one right there. And also, where is it? Cybersecurity stocks fall on the report of Anthropic is testing a powerful new model. Let me give you the update about that. For example, right here, yeah, Anthropic is testing a powerful model with more advanced cyber capabilities and also presents potential security risks. Okay, so some of the cybersecurity stocks such as CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, etc., dropped 6%. Let's take a look here at CrowdStrike. Dun, dun, dun. Right here, CrowdStrike. Yeah, CrowdStrike Holdings right here. Palm Tree, hello, Cameron. Greetings. Granny McKnight, cool name. B Harper Fishing, like it. Lisa, Jassy, welcome. Everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines. This is an educational channel. If you have questions or comments about a certain ticker, or we're also breaking them down here. Not only are we looking at the headlines, but we're looking at the companies in the headlines to see how you can use the indicators and the chart patterns, etc. Here's CrowdStrike. Right now, as you can see, the RSI is sitting here at 40 and still pretty neutral. Dun, dun, dun. Even Christian, hello. Let's go up here to the price chart. Let me get you a couple of patterns here to look at. Right here again, for example, use the creative eye and you will see Nate, hello. Right here, here's your head, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, and then there's your neckline right there. And then also, for example, let's see, let's go right over here, yes, spread this out, yeah, same thing right here. Here's a nice, here's your head right here, left shoulder, right shoulder, there. Just have a second. And then, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, there's a lot of head and shoulders on this one, actually. So if you're a chart pattern person and you like them, these are some fun ones to watch. There's that. Okay, let's keep going, move along here go to the fundamentals, right over here. Now, right now, as you can see, the trade volume is down because there's less trading, less price action. And then right here, volume is at 862.7 thousand, and market cap is at 97.3 billion. And if we go over here, looking at the earnings side of it, okay, quarterly, Q4 Q3 and Q2 beat the earnings expectations for the quarter. Luke Tim, hello. Gigi, greetings and welcome. And Ben, hello. Wilkie, greetings. Doing well, welcome. So okay, the last 3 quarters beat the expectations annually right here. 2025, 2024, and 2023 all beat the annual earnings expectations the last 3 years. There's that. And then right here, how do they line up with the revenue and the earnings and the profits? Okay, 2023 revenue, profit, income, yeah, all green, all looking good. However, 2024 and 2025 didn't fare so well on operating income and net income. They were both negative, but those years did have good revenue and gross profit. So there's that. Yeah, that's CrowdStrike. Also, for another one I get asked about a lot lately is NVIDIA. So let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is also one of the Mag 7s that also had a bad week. Let's take a look at them right here. NVIDIA right here. Okay. Bring us over here. Looking at NVIDIA right now, the RSI is sitting there at 40. Right here. Let me adjust this so you can see it better. Now, right over here, looking at the chart pattern, what do we see? It's not necessarily a very good day. Yeah, they've actually corrected a little bit, but yeah. Right now they're sitting at 170.3, and yeah, they did correct a little bit. But let me see if I can get a pattern for you to jump out right about here. As look at this RSI, you can see basically a lot of consolidation right in here. Watch that right there. See, when you have, basically there's a ceiling right there, there's a floor right there. You can call that resistance, you can call it support, whatever you want to call it, consolidation, continuation, whatever. David, Scotty, EJ, hello, greetings and welcome. Educational channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines. Right now we're breaking down NVIDIA. If you have a question about a ticker or something, just put it in the comments. And then right here, NVIDIA, so there's for example, there's the consolidation right there. And then right over here, let me see if I can get this one to form. Yeah, right there, spread this out. There, now you can kind of see, here's your head right there. Here's your left shoulder, right shoulder. Again, you sometimes have to adjust the timing and spread it out and zoom it out before that'll show up. But there's that, okay? And then here we go. Here. And then, yeah, for example. Boom, boom, boom. This looks like, yeah. Well, anyway, we can get more chart patterns later, but that's NVIDIA. I just wanted to show you them briefly, give you an update about them. Right now they're at 170.23, and over here volume is at 55.75. Market cap is at 4.13 trillion. Earnings, here we go, bum bum bum. Right here, quarterly, again, they beat the last 3 quarters expectations, and annually also, Darren, greetings, 2025, 2024, and 2023 all beat market expectations for the annual side. Statements wise, right here annually, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Yeah, on this one, it doesn't always work out that way, but for NVIDIA, the earnings, good earnings report, and they also had good revenue, profit, and income the last 3 years. So yeah, interesting how that one worked. Scotty, greetings, P, hello. That's NVIDIA. For example, if you have a ticker that you want to ask about, just put it in the comments. Another one that I want to show you, someone asked me about oil and gas earlier. Here's one that's not always in the headlines, not always getting the attention it deserves, but Magnolia Oil and Gas, MGY. I wanted to show you this one because, yes, MGY, Magnolia Oil and Gas. It is up 46% in the last 3 months. So this could be interesting if you're following what's going on lately right now. That's Magnolia Oil and Gas right there. You can see that. And look at this RSI. And look at that chart pattern right there. Bang. Yeah. Now let me look down at the volume for you. 371,000 for volume, and market cap is at 6 billion right now. Also, again, this is Magnolia Oil and Gas. They're in Texas, and right now Q4 beat it, Q3 missed it, and Q2 beat as well annually. What does it look like annually? 2025 beat the expectations for earnings. 2024 also missed it. 2023 missed it too. And then right here, for example, how does that correlate with the revenue and profits? Well, let's see. 2025 beat it. The other years missed it. So 2025, even though it had good earnings, yeah, the revenue, profit, and income was terrible. Same thing with the 2023 and 2024. Actually, the only thing, last 3 years, the only thing that was positive was the total revenue in 2024. Interesting. You have to look at everything. So that's Magnolia. Another one I wanted to show you was this one. For example, Innovative Solutions and Support, ISSC, for example, right here. ISSC. This one doesn't always get a lot of attention either, but right now I thought I would show it to you. Why? Because ISSC, again, this is watching from TradingView if you're at home right now. ISSC engages in the manufacture of flight navigation systems. Again, think about what's going on right now. Flight navigation systems, it designs and manufactures and sells services for air data equipment. Yeah, so I just want, because this one, if you look at the chart, here's the chart. Look at that chart right there. It is actually market correcting right now. You can see that. It's actually ever since March 24th, Tuesday, it's been dropping like a rock. It went all the, look at this, RSI is going all the way down. It's almost oversold now. But I just wanted to show that to you because it's an interesting one. It was doing very, very well. And then now it's, yeah, boom. But yeah, that's Innovative Solutions and Support. If you right here, let's go here to some of the volume wise, it's at 162.27 thousand. Market cap is 354 million. And right here, if we go to quarterly, you have Q1, Q4, and Q3 all beat the expectations quarterly, annually. 2025 had a great year for earnings. 2024 beat it as well. 2023 also beat it. Statements wise, interestingly, this one actually worked out very well. The revenue, profit, income last 3 years were great. Yeah, there you go. Another one, for example, that could be interesting for you as well is BWX Technologies. Why would that be interesting? Because right now they are working with nuclear components and products. BWX right here. BWX. This is BWX Technologies. I'll give you the where is it? Yeah. So what is BWX Technologies? Engages in the supply and provision of nuclear components and products. It operates through government operations and commercial operations and segments. Again, think about this one. Our energy is changing. We're needing more and more energy, and many of the companies are going nuclear, right? So they're signing up, getting contracts with nuclear companies, nuclear power, especially a lot of the tech companies that need more and more power. They're making deals with a lot of nuclear companies, and this is possibly one of the ones. Look at this chart pattern right here. Look at this. So for example, that's why I wanted to bring this to your attention so you could see this. Here's the chart. Look at that. Very, yes. Look at that. Here we go. All the way. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. And here we go. Yeah. Right now, volume is at 150,000. Market cap is at 18.2 billion. Earnings wise, right here. Quarterly, last 3 quarters beat the earnings expectations. Katy Perry loved the name. And annually, as you can see, this is BWX Technologies. Last 3 years beat the earnings expectations. Let's see how that correlates over here with revenue, profit, income. So 2023 and 2024 and 2025 had great total revenue, very good gross profit. Operating income was great in 2023, but not 2024 and 2025. So there's that. Also, net income was also very good for that. Yeah, and that's BWX Technologies. One other one, since we're talking about energy a lot right now, I was going to show you this one, TPL, Texas Pacific. Let's go back here, TPL. This is Texas Pacific Land Corporation. Bang, there's that one. I just wanted to show you that chart here before I finish. But again, this is Texas Pacific Land Corporation. For those of you who are interested in new charts and new tickers, there's that. Having said that, thanks for all the insights in the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time next time.